Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Commander Clash podcast, where the Commander Clash crew discusses Commander-related topics. Today we're going to be talking about probably Crim's favorite subject of all times. It's troll cards. We're doing a tier list of troll cards. Yeah.
Is that what you think of me, Tomer? Come on.
Yes.
Am I trolling right now? I don't know. Whatever.
A little bit.
Probably.
Who brought this topic up?
I don't know how we got here. Sorry.
It wasn't me. We're going to all talk about some cards we find are super trolly, and then we're going to rank them and discuss them. And for people who are watching this on YouTube, you probably see there's some change up in the squad. But for people who are just listening, Richard is currently unavailable. He has some sweet news. He recently had a baby with him and his wife.
A token,
a new token. So congratulations to Richard if you're listening right now. Leave a congratulations in the comment section if he reads it afterwards. That'd be really nice. Stepping up to fill his shoes is Phil, aka Bruce Kitchen. Welcome to the show, Phil. This is your first time. Hello.
Hello. Excited to be here. It's a pretty cool topic to start this.
Yeah, we haven't had a mix up at the table for a long time. Not mix up, change up. That's the word. Change up to the podcast crew for a while. So it's gonna be cool to hear a new voice added to the mix, new perspectives on cards.
Yeah.
And then next up, we got Seth, who is on Richard's account. So I keep trying to say Richard in my head. How's it going, Seth?
I'm doing well, Tomer. How are you today?
Doing well. And then we also have, not the professor, but we have Crim, but you're in a new location, we see.
Yeah, I totally am in this I newly renovated my room where it looks exactly like I'm at the prof's place. Weird, I know, coincidence. It just keeps happening that way.
I feel like there's some copyright infringement or something there.
Don't worry, it's okay. As long as the professor doesn't find out, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. Good thing he doesn't watch this.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Very sweet. And then hello, this is Tomer. Hi. I didn't have a quip for myself. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about troll cards, and we're going to kick things off with Seth. What is a card that you consider maximum trollish? Oh, wait, we have to talk about our metric. We don't really have a good metric for this week, by the way. Usually we're talking about like from S is usually like staple to like D is like bad.
We do have a metric.
I was in charge of the definitions, and it's troll week, so I said D is not really troll, C is rarely trollish, B is sometimes trolly, A is lives under a bridge, and then S is the Omega troll, the ultimate troll. If you are upset by these loose definitions on what a troll card is from S to D, leave a comment down below. I'm sure I will maybe read it. But anyway, now that we have that out of the way, Seth, what's the first card?
Okay, so my number one troll card, it's actually a mini cycle of cards. I don't know what they call this. A Cauldra. You got Sword of Cauldra, Helm of Cauldra, Shield of Cauldra.
Don't you dare.
Okay. I'm just.
Who actually would play that, right?
How
like legitimately.
dare you?
I'm just trolling a little
Especially
bit.
after our last game. Come on.
It finally happened. Actually, my number one card, Cruel Entertainment. Cruel Entertainment. Oh, this card's so sweet. I wish it was on Magic Online. It is a 7-mana black sorcery, and it says, choose target player and another target player. The first player controls the second player during the second player's next turn. The second player controls the first player during the first player's next turn. Essentially, you just give two players control of each other's turns for the next turn cycle. This is a card that when we rated it, where are our ratings? We have 2 S's. Me and Phil gave it S's. Tomer gave it an A. Crim does not picture this card as a very trolly card. Gives it a D. I think this card's incredibly trolly because it just kind of messes with things. When I think of troll cards, they're cards that aren't really good and they aren't really progressing the game or winning the game. This is just like, hey, why don't you two play each other's turns? Like, it's not even necessarily beneficial. Like, you don't really know. The two people could team up and play their turns well if you wanted to. And if you're going to use it on yourself, that's pretty risky. Because sure, you can like maybe screw over the person whose turn you're taking, but they're going to get your turn. So they're going to be able to screw you over just as much. So I love this card. I think it's horrible, but it's definitely a troll card in my book. But I'm curious why Crim, why do you give this a D? This is one of your lowest rated cards.
is it really trolly if all you're doing is ensuring the two people you point at are going to beat you up?
What? They're gonna sabotage
is that
each
your
other.
your MO?
Well,
Crim,
okay, I'm fine with some of the cards like that, right? Like, so like I do think that this card just like does not troll hard enough, because for me, when I think of pure troll, I think of something that's completely out of my control, right? I think of it, it's way funnier if I don't have any way of controlling how it works, right? So like as somebody like this whole tier list, though, if I'm being honest with you, almost everything here would get an S for me. Like it's either out of your control or it has something to do with gambling, essentially against the rest of the table, or it's just something that's I don't know, kind of mischievous, right? So I often find that when I play Cruel Entertainment live, or live in real person, in real time, I just often don't get much out of it. It's not that in theory, when you read the card, you think this is really trolly, right? This is fun. It's going to be a hoot, right? But really all that happens is just both people beat me up. They're like, okay, you know what's the best way to resolve this? We just blow up all Crim stuff. So, okay. so I've learned to make sure that troll cards don't allow my opponents to get me, right? Like, they could, but it's random.
I think it might have convinced me a little bit. I've never seen this card played because it's not available on Magic Online, unfortunately. And I have never seen somebody play it. It is 7 mana. And ideally, like, you want both opponents to just go at each other because that's really fun.
Right. You want to make them dance.
But they can just collaborate, right?
Right.
But will they though?
They every time I have cast, maybe it's my charm. It is my charm.
Yeah.
But immediately just both kill me. So
I know if you cast it on like me and Seth, I think we would probably just murder you. Like
right.
That would
So
be
what?
the play.
Assuming it wasn't me, assuming let's say Phil casted this, right? You still just both beat up Phil, right?
No. Have you ever taken control of a turn and thought, I'm going to progress this person's game plan? Whenever I take another person's turn, either I misclick or I like purposefully sabotage the player. I can't imagine saying, well, I'm going to play a land and then I'm going to draw cards for you. No
But then they
way.
have your turn, though.
No, you just target 2 opponents and let them
but they have
sabotage
each other's turns.
Yeah, but if they want to kill you, they can just do that on their own turn. It's like, to be fair, I've never seen this card played, and Crim has. So, but when I read it, first of all, the artwork looks amazing, and how I imagine it going is, I'm going to target these both players, and they sabotage each other, and I'm sitting there smiling in the background, just like the dude in the artwork.
Phil, that's what I thought. A young Crim, an unseasoned Crim, thought the same thing. I would cast this and ride off into the sunset laughing at my 2 opponents beating each other up. Often I died because it doesn't matter if it's technically the correct play to like mess with each other. People will just go for the person that did it.
Huh. You know,
You convinced me. I put it down to a C.
Everything if I can.
I'll bounce it. I trust Crim. When it comes to troll cards, Crim is like the ultimate authority. So if Crim's saying it's bad, I'm gonna drop it down to an A. Yeah.
I feel like he's extensively played all these cards. Too much. Like all his decks are basically these cards.
No, I want to see it first.
Not chains, just strictly because of a budget reasoning, but yeah.
I'm
all
gonna
of these
keep it
seem
at
to be
S.
oddly Grixis colored for some reason. Oh, it's so weird. So weird.
I don't know. Maybe I have a Grixis Chaos deck in person. Who knows? Maybe the next Command Fest in Vegas. You can find out.
All right, we'll move on to the next card. Crim, as the troll expert at the table, what's your first card on the list?
Yes. So, this is a card that I feel like people often forget and overlook. It's Impulsive Maneuvers, 2 red enchantment. Whenever a creature attacks, flip a coin. If you win the flip, the next time that creature would deal combat damage this turn, it deals double that damage instead. If you lose the flip, the next time that creature would deal combat damage this turn, prevent that damage. So, To me, this is perfect, right? Like, this is beautiful. I have no say. You can't politic with me because I don't know what you're going to flip. That's not up to me. This is on Moto because I know I've forced you all to play against it. And it was hilarious because oftentimes I need to lose the flip. I want you to lose the flip, but some of the times I also need to lose the flip in order to truly win the flip. So there's layers of stupidity added to it, and I love that. I'm here for that. So this is exactly what you want to troll the table with, because no one knows. What are you gonna do? Politic with me? I'm not the person that's flipping the coin. I don't know. Sure, it could happen. I'll make a deal with you. I don't guarantee the result. So this is perfect troll card.
So you gave it an S.
Yes.
Phil and Seth gave it an A. I gave it a B.
I hate this card. This card's so annoying to play against. We've played against it a few times from Crim, and like it's just so hard to play with because you don't know what's going to happen, and like it's so easy to attack and get blown out because you might not deal damage. Like, so it really, I think this is a really good troll card for the reasons that Crim said, because like we've experienced the trolling on this one, and it isn't actually very much fun once it's a table.
This is like definitely ultimate troll, right? Like this is above living under a bridge, right? Like. Like that's, as Seth just mentioned it right there, it's so annoying because you just don't know.
That is true. It kind of makes me wish I was living under a bridge rather than playing Commander.
Like, please, somebody just play this. This card is hilarious. It's so much fun.
If I'm ever betting a meme-themed deck, I'm playing this as my Leroy Jenkins reference because of the artwork.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, shouldn't it just even out? Like, obviously, you get blown out or get pushed in a combat, but in the end, with a 50-50 chance, it should deal the exact amount of damage in the end. It's kind of interesting if you think about it.
In the end, it should, but some of us are much worse at coin flips. If I recall, Phil, last season, your coin flip win ratio was pretty good.
But I did have a crux thumb in that game.
Okay, fair then. Okay. So without a crux thumb, right? like we're talking in the dark, in the blind, this card should be like evening out. But when it doesn't, it's a blowout, right? Like there's no gray area. Because the way it works is it only works on attackers, right? So if you block, you're still going to do whatever you're going to do.
And the triggers resolve beforehand, so you can be like, oh, they lost that flip, that's not dealing damage. I can just, I don't have to block it, or I can throw all my stuff in front of it and kill it kind of for free because it's not going to damage my stuff. Yeah.
And it's not double strike, it's just double that damage, so you can.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is so bad.
I think this card gets legit when you get the thumb out, but like...
But then that's...
Yeah, it's annoying.
I guess.
I would give it a B. Like, it is annoying to play against, but...
I feel like your responses are making it look like an S.
No, it's more like what if I don't actually care about attacking that much? Then it really doesn't bother me at all. It is even beneficial for me actually because like it ruins it. Like if I'm a combat focused deck, this will bother me. If I'm not a combat focused deck, I don't care about this in the slight. It's even helping me.
You do. Because if they win the flip, then they're doubling the damage.
Yeah, but they could they have a 50% of winning or just dealing no damage at all, so it evens out.
Maybe. Sure.
Like, I don't know, if I'm like Spellslinger combo.
Think about it like this. It only needs to win one flip to like potentially one-shot you with a commander. Right? Depending on the commander and like what they're doing, one flip could just lose you the game.
I mean, I can still see you attacking me with a double striker, and then I can jump block. Like that's not.
Yeah, totally.
That's not. And then if you lose a flip, then I don't have to block at all, or I can just kill the creature.
But but we're assuming that you don't have creatures, right? Because if a combat doesn't matter to you, then it's like,
you could have like random stuff on
Solemn
on
Simulacrum, the ultimate wall.
You could have your whatever, your spirited companion for a puppy undernet.
I mean,
it's fine.
I think it's true that it's not as good against some decks as others. Like some of the cards we're going to talk about, like it just doesn't really care what you're doing. When this does, like it does care about creatures on the battlefield. So, but really most decks are going to have creatures. So I don't think that's like a hugely limiting factor. But I agree with Tomer to some extent that compared to like Cruel Entertainment, it doesn't matter. Like that's going to do what it does no matter what style of deck you're playing. This does require creatures on the battlefield to be trolly.
But that's not trolling, right? Like trolling is like the art of it is to be extremely inconvenient and also a nuisance, but not a guaranteed nuisance because we don't really know, right? So
I'm sticking with A.
All right, we'll move on. Phil, what's your top? What's one of your top troll cards?
So trolling is such a weird way to describe a card, and there's multiple ways to think about it. And my number one, I'd say, it's not gameplay-wise number one, but it's definitely trolly if you beat me with it. It's Stormcrow. It's just a 2-mana, 1/2 flyer, and it's a bit of a meme in the Magic community, but if you suit it up and beat somebody to death with it, I would consider it S-tier trolling. I know it's a bit out there, but this is the card that I really thought, like, there's so much better versions of this, and you only play it for the troll, just for the meme. So I would say that Stormcrow is a bit of a troll card. I don't know. It's not gameplay-wise, but you just play it to troll people, and that's why it's getting an S for me. It's also my Reddit username, Stormcrow OP. So it's, gotta love it.
So you gave it an S, Phil, Seth gave it a B, Crim and I gave it C.
I give it a C solely on because of its rep, right? But other than that, it's like does not troll me enough, right? Like I am not inconvenienced enough. Right? I feel like it should at least be tying my shoelaces together, right? Or like that base, that's like the minimum level that it needs to hit as a troll card. It's not quite there yet. It's more of like, haha, you're weird. It's like, oh.
I feel like
there's more than one way to troll though. This is like psychological trolling. Like it's not going to troll you like
not in a game
on the
sense.
Battlefield, but the fact that your opponent's like kind of flexing and playing this meme creature that like has been a joke for a long time, I think that's its own kind of troll. But I can only give it a B because Richard plays it unironically in his first deck, so that bounces it down. Like if we were in a different play group, I'd probably give it like an S or an A. But because I've seen Richard just unironically slam this and put a dowsing dagger on it, I can't really go above sometimes trolly just because of that.
I've lost to way worse than this card. This card is like above curve for some of the things that Richard has beaten me down with it. Like I would rate this higher than Fledgling Osprey. Like it only flies if it's enchanted. Like come on, all right, okay. And I've lost to Fledgling Osprey, so this one at least flies. At least has evasion. It can hold a sword. Like is it good?
Own,
no,
it has evasion. Wow,
it's iconic. It is iconic. So I granted that, but like I've lost to so much worse, much worse cards.
I don't expect anybody to actually give it an S. It's just so iconic, and if somebody beats me with it. Richard didn't beat me with it yet. I'd probably
don't give
say
him
that
ideas.
It's pretty
Yeah,
I mean, we don't have to give him ideas. He just
don't tell him.
He would just do it eventually again, coming in with the birds.
He plays a Stormcrow off a Toski, and we're like, oh no. All right. I'll have one. This is probably the card that will tilt me to the moon. This is the card that like if you, I was afraid of mentioning it because I don't want to give this table ideas because I do have to play with them regularly. But Scrambleverse, this is the card that I hate the most.
The one that shuffles the permanents around, right?
Yes. It's
this
6
one
mana.
It's
8 mana. 6 and double red for a sorcery for each non-land permanent. Choose a player at random. Then each player gains control of each permanent for which they were chosen. Untap those permanents. So all like the name implies, you take all the permanents on the battlefield and you scramble them around the table. So you don't have any control over which goes where. Do we even have it on a list? We don't have it on a list. This is like This is S++ for me.
Yeah,
I hate
same.
it so much. I hate it with the passion of a burning suns. So all your crap just goes everywhere. And then, like, I remember when I started playing Commander, people would, like, there would be the one guy who played mono red chaos, and that was his only deck, and he refused to borrow anybody else's deck. And
that's a person of culture.
It would be even worse. Like he would take half your cards. Like he would cast Scrambleverse every single game, and then he'd start shuffling up and like, dude, you have my cards in your library. Give it back to me. And then the worst thing is like if you have the same like sleeves that like you're all have black sleeves or something, it's even harder to find. You go home and you're like, wait a minute, why do I have like a random planes in my deck? And it's just like it's garbage, and it's just like it takes a while to just even get it, because like how do you choose a player at random? So for every single permanent, you have to be like, all right, I'm gonna roll a d4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's roll for that one, and you do that like 80 times for every permanent on the battlefield, and it's just the worst, and it takes up so much time, and the game has been stalled, and then you lose half your cards, and you have new cards in your deck when you leave, and I hate it. I hate it so much. And I don't want to name names, but the person who was casting it, I remember, and I still hate you.
Well, what's wrong with that?
And I mean, that's definitely a troll card. I'm glad you went with that.
There's
instead
a
of
weird guy in my room.
Are you
again.
winning, son?
Dude.
Vince, what do you think about troll cards?
No, Dad, go away. It's not a phase. Okay.
Scrambleverse is definitely a troll card. Warp World, I don't think really is doesn't have to be. Like Warp World can be a legitimate build around.
Yeah,
Scrambleverse though, Scrambleverse, there's no controlling it, and yeah. I mean, it can be kind of fun though, right? You don't enjoy effects like that.
Said a downside. There's nothing bad about what you said. You've brought the table together. You are now doing a group activity.
No.
Right? Like this is the truest form of magic, right? Like everybody wants to play the game, right? So they are now playing the game. They are truly playing the game, if you would.
I'll say I would put it lower ranking on Magic Online, because you don't have to deal with, losing your cards. You don't have to deal with randomizing every single thing manually. It does it in one click, or it will stutter for a bit and then give you it. But on paper, this is the most miserable card I've ever experienced in my life.
It's so much fun. What? I love this card in paper. This is like the poster child of troll, right? So
I hate this card more than Ristic Study. I hate it more than Ristic Study. That's the highest aggravation.
I think what I'm getting from this is Tomer doesn't like the finer things in life, if you would. This is a card that is the finer things in life.
But you could build around it though a bit, right? If you like have a Greater Gargadon, for example, and sacrifice everything in response.
Yeah, like
it's kind of rough to build around now that I think about it.
The less permanence you have, the better, I guess.
You could also not build around
it.
Good.
Yeah,
how about that? You could just not.
You could give your opponents permanents, stuff that creates tokens for your opponents or whatever would work, and then you can potentially steal some of them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe this card's legit.
To be fair,
legit.
I would
veto
it in
the
an
band.
F,
no.
But having Toma explain it in paper is actually like, if you don't like this effect, I would probably laugh the whole time, so I wouldn't care too much. But if you hate the whole card, like Toma, and sit there for 15 minutes randomizing players, that's pretty trolly. Yeah, it's.
I laughed the first time. I laughed the first time it was cast. And then I stopped laughing the second time, and then I made other noises the third and fourth and fifth time. This is bad.
Tomer, how are you not a stacks player? Isn't this like? I mean, it sounds like you don't want to have fun, right? Like
this is literally a stacks card.
No,
it's stacks for people who think they're quirky. That's what chaos is. That's what chaos is. It's stacks for people who think they're quirky.
Hipster stacks. Yeah.
I don't like stacks, but I'm just going to ruin your entire board state.
Just play homeward path.
That doesn't work. That only is for creatures. And what if your homeward path gets stolen too?
The other way.
All right,
thanks.
I gotta ask you, Tomer. Since we're talking about this card, there's another very similar card. I want to see if you hate it equally as much, and that's Thieves Auction, which is 7 mana. It essentially does the same thing, except you draft all the permanents. You get to all the permanents go in a big pile. You get to pick the one that you want. It comes into play tap. Go around the table. Do that to all the permanents that are drafted. Is your burning hate as high for Thieves Auction as it is for Scrambleverse, or is that better because you actually have some amount of control over it?
See, last season, by the way, I think for Chaos Week, I casted Thieves Auction, I think. Or someone did, and we definitely drafted everything. It was great.
I hate so if Scrambleverse is S++ for me, we'll just talk about it. We gave it S's across the board. If Scrambleverse is S++ for me, this is S. This is still will tilt me to the moon. The salt will I will have more salt coming out of me than a salt shaker. But Scrambleverse is actively like, if you continually cast this against me, I will just be like, at some point, snap concede. This one I'll be like, all right, fine.
Is concede a card? Because I was gonna say snap Scrambleverse.
You're not taking
you're not talking about Snapcaster. Okay, sorry, I'm on a different page.
No. Yeah, you can Snapcaster this, which is I've also been part of that. That's wow, that is something.
But Thieves Auction, you come out ahead because you get the first pick, right? So, like,
I got a better idea, even.
By definition, you get the best
thing.
You
can break Scrambleverse, too. You can cast Scrambleverse and then float a red and then cast Brand after it resolves.
And then everybody gets back their stuff, right?
No, only you get all your permanents back.
But
so you cast it, you float 1 red mana, so you need like 9 mana or whatever, 8 mana or whatever, and then you cast Brand after it resolves. I don't want to give you ideas. I don't want to give you ideas.
That's going to be my next Commander Clash deck.
No, that's actually a bad plan. That's a bad plan.
Are you looking for guests for your stream next week, Tomer?
Come to the stream with a chaos deck.
Imagine trying to resolve Scrambleverse on a webcam, and then instead of like swapping the cards around, you're like, hold on, let me pull out my post-it notes, and you just like write every single card. Can you imagine how long it would take to resolve it if you had if you were mid-game or something, turn 7,
miserable.
You do that?
How do you pick people to go on the show, by the way?
You're banned, Crim.
Okay, I'm just curious, like, if a username comes up not Crim, that's not me, right? Like, can I still come join in on the game?
Okay, here's an idea. You cast a Thieves Auction and duplicate it, like copy it a bunch of time, and then talk the table into saying, hey, just pick randomly. Only the last one is the one that matters, because after, like, if you copy it, you do the whole process several times. And then everybody picks random stuff except you in the first one, and then you like time stop or something, and all the other copies are gone, and you are the only one that picked in the first auction because everybody else just picked random stuff. That's how you build around that. I mean, while we are trolling, that's probably
why are we even building
trolling.
around that? That's not the nature of the card. What you want to do is you want to play like Hive Mind, cast it. Why not? And then. And we all just do 4 drafts.
Waste time.
This is the biggest mistake.
Waste my time 2022, baby. Let's go.
Who talked me into this? We're teaching our viewers the wrong messages here.
Are we, or are we like teaching them culture? This is the truth here. That's how you enjoy the finer things in Magic.
Okay, we'll just move on.
Oh, good.
Seth,
I've been waiting to talk about this card because this is my favorite. I love this card. I've tried to win with it. I have won with it on Commander Clash. Goblin Game. Goblin Game, 7 mana, sorcery, says each player hides at least 1 object, and then all players reveal them at the same time. Each player loses life equal to the number of objects that they revealed. The player who revealed the fewest objects loses half of his or her life rounded up. If 2 or more players are tied for the fewest, each loses half of his or her life rounded up. I love cards that no one knows what they do or how they work, and this is... Even as we played with this card, I don't think we really knew what was going to happen. It's just worded so weirdly. It's got a huge wall of text. You hide objects, which apparently can be anything. I think if you're playing in paper, you're literally supposed to like find items in the room that you can hide and then count later. There's nothing like this in Magic. I gave this card an A along with Phil. Crim gave it a B. Tomer, you think this card's legit? You gave it the C.
I give it a C. So the way I'm ranking it is how much does it tilt me personally on a personal level. And this card is basically you're wasting a lot of time to make somebody lose some amount of life, right? That's what it boils down to. It's a lot of
trolling.
text. Yeah. So it's irritating. I wish you just burned me, you know? Like I wish you made me lose a bit of life.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, is my blood pressure going to rise a lot from this card? And the answer is no. Like worst case, I lose a bit of life total. You didn't take all my cards. You didn't shuffle your cards into my library into your deck, and then I have to figure it out later. But you had to. It takes a while to resolve, but like once you figure out what it wants to do,
that's even better than taking your permanents. You had to go hide objects. It's like a game of hide and seek, included in a game of Magic. That's got to be trolling. That's got to be.
You know what? You're right.
Wait,
You're right.
See the
that's pretty. I'm gonna.
But it won't bother me that much.
It went up to an A. It went up to an A.
All right. I'll go to a B. How about that? Okay. I'll go to a B.
Even the Oracle text for this says like each player hides at least one item. That is like words that do not occur on any other card. So unique.
They also have
Magic Online. You just choose a number, which I mean that's an alternative. I'll just write a number down on a piece of paper.
There's also an official ruling for the card on Gather that says when it comes to the choice of items, use common sense. So
no
who knows
martini
what
glasses.
Yeah.
All right, we have to keep.
Yeah, this is a perfect card. This is beautiful. I love it. God. As I said, if I could just give everything on this list an S, I probably would. Just like everything pretty much gets an S. Like I love this entire list of cards.
All right. We'll move on. Crim, what's the next card that you consider is top tier trolling?
Another wonderful enchantment. One that I honestly couldn't imagine playing a Chaos deck without. And that is Confusion in the Ranks. It's 3 and 2 red. Whenever an artifact, creature, or enchantment comes into play, its controller chooses target permanent another player it controls that shares a type with it. Exchange control of these permanents. Oh, this is beautiful, right?
Wait, switch the targets, right?
No, you swap.
Oh, it's this one. Yeah. Oh, that's awful.
This card is hilariously fun. Another fine example of making sure the table plays the game. Everyone always talks about, fun first. This is fun first.
Oh my god.
I'm having flashbacks to the Chaos episode. And I can't.
You don't even have to be a Chaos deck to play this. I think this is a card that you should just probably play in mono red for value because your creatures probably won't be as good as other people's creatures.
I'd hate you forever.
So then you just are naturally going to get value out of it, right?
But the people can steal it back if it's really good. They could just play their own creatures and steal their creatures back.
But then you just play another creature. And
it's like artifacts and enchantments too. It's all downhill. Like what, you're just all playing bad cards? Like that's their plan.
You know how I love the Monarch Tomer? This just basically turns all permanents into the Monarch, where everyone wants to steal it, and it makes the game progress.
Wait,
I think this card's legit underrated.
We gave it all S's, by the way.
It feels so good that we all gave this an S because we all at least unanimously understand this is. You even heard from Seth too. This is the value play. This is a fun first line. Like, this hits every check mark that you need from a Magic card. And maybe some people get a little salty along the way. But you know what? A little sodium never hurt anybody, right? So, look, it'll... This
is why you have to die first every game.
I will die for this card. So, this is magic, right? Truly magic.
So
want to see your chromatic orrery disappear? Check this out. Here, have a signet. You can't say I didn't give you anything. We just traded.
Yeah, you know reliving those games, those Chaos weeks.
I get to homie it up, give you something, you give me something.
This is like my version of Vietnam.
Somebody else homies me up.
Jesus.
And they steal what I stole, and we just keep the fun going for. How is that not the most magic you could play in Commander? Come on.
At this point, we should probably shout out our Chaos Week episode so people can click in the annotations here
and
if you want to see Thomas suffer.
I have to edit this. I have to relive the pain a second time.
This card's perfect.
I'm curious how it compares to Phil's next card, actually, because there's some similarities with the next card up. Is Phil's next card as trolly?
Yeah, what's the next card, Phil?
So my next card is Puca's Mischief, and to a certain extent another card that is Cultural Exchange. I can probably
you want to read together. Both again? Read the first one and then the second one.
I read the first one first. They're pretty similar. So Puca's Mischief is a 4-mana, 3 and a blue enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may exchange control of target non-land permanent you control and target non-land permanent an opponent controls with an equal or lesser converted mana costs. Pretty trolly, I would say. It's not an ST. I think I gave it an A. Since you can control a lot of the process and it's not like Confusion in the Rank where it goes back to the other player immediately and you get nothing from it. But it's like trolling your opponents in a threat of activation way. Like, while my first one was just mental trolling, this is actually gameplay trolling. Like, it's tough on the opponent if they know, yeah, I can play this, but they probably just switch it from their Solemn Simulacrum or something. It's a pretty interesting card. Cultural Exchange is a sorcery, 6 mana. Choose any number of creatures target player controls. Choose the same number of creatures another target player controls. Those players exchange control of these creatures. So a one-shot mass Puca's Mischief. A little bit differently worded, but both of them switch stuff from one to the other player, which is inherently trolling and not really achieving too much. Like, it would be, which is why this card is not on the list, it would be way worse than just Blatant Thievery everything, but Blatant Thievery isn't even a troll card. It's just a straight up 6/1 and it's an amazing card. That's why it's not on this list, but Cultural Exchange and Puca's Mischief, oh boy, I am still planning on playing these, and we'll see in future episodes. It seems very fun for everybody involved.
I
wonder if these are troll. Yeah, I also was in the B range with these.
Yeah,
I gave both of them an A.
It doesn't troll hard enough, right? Like,
I get what you're saying, yeah.
Right, because like it's controlled.
You can control it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's once, right, each upkeep. Whereas Confusion of the Ranks, as soon as that comes down, it's Mario Party time. So like, and on top of the mana restriction is a little annoying, right? Like, it's hilarious. It's hilarious to play a 2-mana rock and then steal somebody's 7-mana artifact, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So like, it's great to trade a Llanowar Elf for, like, I don't know, somebody's commander. So the mana restrictions kind of like it does troll. Like, I would play this in the same deck, but this is like, because it's a how do we put this? A troll curve. So you want to curve this into like,
oh my god,
Confusion in the Ranks. So yeah, you want to troll curve.
With Confusion in the Ranks, by the way. Like, if you give it to your opponent, it still does the same effect, but you get 5-drop.
You party like this. This is pre-gaming. This is pre-gaming, and then Confusion in the Ranks is like, now we're partying, right? So that's where you want to be in this.
We need another Chaos Week, I think.
So my first deck ever and my most cherished deck still is Zedruu the Great-Hearted, and both these cards, Puca's Mischief and Culture Exchange, are all-stars in this deck, and they're definitely trolly, but like, they're very controlled. Like, this deck is all about playing like these good ETB creatures that don't have good bodies after they enter the battlefield, like Night of the White Orchid and stuff. A little utility, and then you trade them for your opponent's better stuff. Is that trolly?
Why do you sound like someone who just won't admit to themselves that they love Warp World?
I'm not saying the Rust Elemental isn't in my deck that says at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice an artifact other than Rust Elemental. If you can't Rust Elemental, you tap Rust Elemental, use it for life. So I'm not saying that I don't give this to people and maybe exchange them with Cultural Exchange, or give them Steel Golem, which says you can't play creature spells. I mean, I do that, but like, I'm not a savage. I don't go to
Tomer, you don't sound that far off.
Levels.
I think you're just in denial about whether you love these decks
I
or
don't have
not.
Scrambleverse with this deck. I don't have Warp World. Yeah, I'm not like you, Crim.
You say what you want, but you're like a bad day away from just like going and playing all the chaos cards.
I think Tomer just wants to. You want to feel in control of it. It seems like if the effects like you can control it, then you like them. But once the random element comes in, then you end up hating them. It seems like
that is, and also how long it takes to resolve is another big thing. How long does the effect take to resolve? How much of my time is being spent on this card?
I feel like Cultural Exchange can just be a legit card, though. Like, in the kind of deck you were describing, like, it seems kind of sweet. Like, you could use it just for trolling, and I could definitely see the troll uses where you're just like, haha, like, switch your stuff, gotcha. Like, that's kind of funny and pretty trolly. But you could build a deck around it and play a bunch of just, like, like you said, ETB creatures, underpowered creatures, and just trade them into the best stuff on the table. So, I think it's got to be, like, a B-tier-ish style card, just because I can't see non-troll uses, even though I can see troll uses too.
I mean,
imagine you're in a blue tokens deck and you have like a bunch of 1/1s and you just choose a handful of them and you replace them with your opponent's good creatures of Cultural Exchange.
Oh yeah, sounds pretty good. Yeah, to be honest, I'm a bit biased.
That sounds not chaotic at all.
Yeah, it's not.
That's
it's not
point,
chaotic.
Crim.
It's gotta
I'm
be
not like
trolled.
you.
I'm sorry. These cards.
Yeah, I got a soft spot for taking control of permanents my opponents own. So yeah, they probably got bumped up a bit higher for me there. That's why I mentioned them. I just love these kinds of effect, and these are the ones that are bad, like Agent of Treachery and Blatant Thievery are good and not trolly. These ones I would consider trolly though.
You might like Zedru then, Phil. I recommend giving it a shot.
It's light troll. It's light troll, which is why I gave it a B.
Controlled chaos.
I actually I watched Thomas deck tech to his Zedru deck, and it looks actually very interesting, like politically and power level wise. It seems like a cool deck. I mean, I don't want to play it against you.
Fair. I get that a lot. All right, moving on. Who is it? Is it me?
I think it's you, yeah.
Yeah, it's me. Okay. So there's a card that I wanted to hear everybody's opinion on, because where did we put it? A lot of S's. I give it an A. But this is Possibility Storm. Possibility Storm is another card that you could see featured on Chaos Week, unfortunately. This is a 5-mana red enchantment, 3 double red enchantment. Says whenever a player casts a spell from their hand, the player exiles it, then exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a card that shares a card type with it. That player may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then they put all lands exiled with Possibility Storm on the bottom of their library in a random order. So you cast a spell, and instead of that spell resolving, it immediately gets exiled. And then you get another spell randomly off the top of your library that shares a card type with it. So if you cast a creature, that creature gets exiled. You don't get to resolve that spell, but then you get a random creature off the top of your library that you cast for free instead. So very chaotic. Again, you don't really have control over what's going on here. It affects everybody. You don't have a say to opt in or not, which definitely, again, I put this in an A. Everybody else gave it an S, so it definitely tilts me. It's definitely a, like, I wish you didn't. But it's still not like Scrambleverse level for me. I don't know. What do you guys think?
You ever just like spinning the dartboard and just seeing what prize you get?
No.
Wow, like no fun whatsoever.
Because all the prizes are trash. So do you ever?
Wait, the prizes can't be trashed. You built the deck.
Yeah, you built the deck.
So
should be good.
That's true.
The amount of times that I've done it where I'm like, please let me spin into a counter spell.
What if you have the counter spell in your hand?
Are you winning, son?
No,
are you winning, son?
The weird homeless guy's back. Okay, no.
Oh my god.
Are you winning, son?
Oh, hello. This is yes, we're winning, Dad. How are you?
Doesn't look like
Professor, how would you feel if we resolved the Possibility Storm against you? Would you be salty?
How you would feel if we all just played chaos decks and how much he loves chaos decks. He just wanted you to know that.
Sounds like a bad. Sounds like you're hanging out with the wrong crowd, son.
I guess I'm getting into the wrong crowd.
Thank you.
going on?
I don't know how these people keep getting in here. This is really weird and awkward. What are you doing, Vince?
I'm eating my Reese's cake.
Okay, well, Vince is going to eat a Reese's cake in the background because I didn't know those existed.
It's disgusting.
We're professionals, by the way.
Possibility Storm. I feel like I like Possibility Storm played fairly, but I actually found myself wondering if I should put it at S tier just because, like, there are legit locks with it, right? Isn't this also potentially a stacks piece if you play like a rule of law or like Draneth Magistrate, something that keeps your opponent from playing more than one spell each turn or casting spells outside of their hand or whatever. So I always get scared when I see this card come down. If none of that stuff's going on, I usually have fun when Possibility Storm's on the battlefield, but then I'm always like just super afraid that someone's going to play one of those cards and I'm just going to be like hard locked out of the game.
Richard. Oh, sorry. Where's Richard?
I have it in my Belborca deck. It's a stacks piece in there.
So when Toma built decks for us, he built this Belborca deck for Seth, and Seth tried to do the Draneth Magistrate Possibility Storm. Luckily, it didn't happen until maybe. I don't want to spoil it. Just watch the episode. And that's the thing. It was super fun. Like, we were all scared that somebody would log out the table, but otherwise, the game was just so unique and fun, and nobody knew what was happening. It's a bit like playing Momia. Like, it's at some point you just think, wow, I don't have control over what I'm doing here. But
and it turned
then again,
fun,
you build
weird.
the deck, and it feels like cascading. It's the same fun I have when I play Cascade card and say, well, this could be anything. It's a very fun card and also trolly. So yeah,
it's so much better than Cascade though. And that's what makes it so much fun, right? Like,
I mean, Cascade is obviously stronger because you can still get the
original.
But you can kind of like choose essentially what type it is, right? That like if you've only got like 4 planeswalkers, I cast this one. Any of the other 3 are going to be better, right? So
if you cast your worst planeswalker and have good ones in the, I mean, but
they're
you could
probably
also
all
cast
good.
the best and get the worst. Like you don't really have that much control over the cards in your hand.
It's great, right?
It's great,
yeah. So Phil, just join me on my side here.
I am. Yeah,
have a seat next to. Just give up control to the idea of like you being able to choose what targets, and just let RNGesus like take the wheel.
So
you just do that.
So when I put it in the Belborca deck, it's kind of odd that people are saying that it was fun because I didn't intend it to be fun. I just wanted it to be a stacks piece.
Troll was trying to troll us, but it didn't work because everyone loved it.
Because Belborca, like a red deck that is all about exile, like Prosper, for example, too. You cast spells from exile. That's the whole point of the deck. Like 90% of your card advantage engines are casting from exile, which circumvent Possibility Storm. Belborca circumvents this ability because you're casting from exile, so you don't get affected by the storm. You get to cast whatever spells you want to cast. And that was the whole point. It gets around it because being locked by getting affected by the storm wasn't fun. So my brain goes. And now you guys are like, oh, it's like cascading, but more fun. I'm like, oh, okay.
Seth didn't play as commander in this game.
No, I don't think play as commander. I should have put in the title of the deck. Just play Belborca, please.
I needed a sticky note. I need to put a sticky play my commander sticky note.
So then you would say then you built the deck. You thought people would probably hate it. Everybody ended up loving it. Is this just a sign of good, clean fun? Like most random cards?
You trolled yourself also.
Yeah, sure.
Somebody got trolled.
Of course, but like I think that's the humor in it. Now I know that some people are like, I don't like the randomness, but that adds to the fun.
No.
I feel like I could play a good chaos game like once a month. I feel like if every game I played was like this, I would probably stop playing Commander after a while because, like, kind of like Momir. Like, Momir, I'll really enjoy playing it for, like, a couple of days, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done with this, and I need a break for, like, a few weeks. So, I don't, like, Tomer, I think, is, like, once a lifetime. He'll play a Chaos game and enjoy it. So, I like it a lot more than Tomer does, but I don't think I'm quite where Crim is, because I think Crim could, like, legitimately, you could probably play every Commander game with these cards, and you would just be loving every minute of it.
No game would be the same. That's why, like, right? Like, there's no like repeat pattern. But like, and exactly, the consistency is the inconsistency, right? But I think I put it in our little group chat, right? One day I was just bored, and my friend and I, we just 1v1'd each other, and we both had chaos decks. And that was the time of our life, dude. Oh my god. That was fun.
Just that sounds like my
doing
ultimate nightmare, my greatest punishment.
You're just executing game actions without having any say in it. And
no purpose, yeah.
The hardest part in paper is remembering, oh crap, I casted this, so that triggers, wait, but then I forgot this triggers.
At that point, you're not a pilot, you're just a passenger. You're just in for the ride.
Exactly. You let RNGesus take the wheel, and you're just kind of riding shotgun.
No, I want off Wild Wounds while drive. No, thank you.
I kind of want to bring a chaos deck, just and a random free for all in Commander Clash.
I'm sorry, I can't make that week. I have a thing. We'll get Neotic or something. I don't know.
I might be sick that week. Depends. I'm gonna have to roll a coin. Roll a coin, by the way.
See how far it goes.
All right, so we have more cards, unfortunately, through this.
I got you, Tomer. I got a good one. This one isn't a chaos card. This is a whole different kind of trolling, I think. Confusion trolling, incomprehensible trolling, Chains of Mephistopheles. 2 mana enchantment. It says every time a player draws a card, that player must first discard a card from his or her hand. If there are no cards in that player's hand, take the top card of their library and place it in the graveyard instead of drawing. This enchantment does not apply to the first card drawn during a player's draw phase. The reason this is on the list, and this is a card that has legitimate uses, hating on card draw. So if you're trying to shut down brainstorms and things like that, kind of like a weird $1,600 hull breacher, so almost.
$1,600.
But so there are legitimate uses. The thing is, there's like also flowcharts trying to describe this card. If you look on Google, there's like so much difficulty with anyone knowing what this card actually does. And I actually played it last week on Commander Clash. It was in my esports week. I don't know when this video is going up. And even on the battlefield while playing it, we still were having a hard time figuring it out because I like drew a card, but I didn't have cards in hand, so it just milled me and I didn't draw, and like we couldn't really figure out what's going on.
Was it a bug?
No, I think that's just how it works, but I'm actually not sure. So I think that just the fact that no one really knows what this card does makes it a good troll card. Unfortunately, because it's on the reserve list and from Legends, no one's going to get to experience the trolling because the copies are just so expensive.
Yeah,
so you gave it an A. I give it an A. Crim gave it a B. You're going to give it a B. Okay.
I rated it C because I didn't think of people don't know what's going on, so you troll them with confusion. And it really confused me when I had to finally actually read the card when I played against it, and I still didn't get it, so I guess I got trolled there. And I thought it should do something else than it actually did, so should probably be... let's just keep it at B. In the end, the card did nothing, pretty much, so...
Also, I give it an A from how much time it eats up from the game, for sure, because nobody knows what it does. I thought I knew what it did in a Commander Clash.
Everybody thinks they know what it does.
So I was like, it's not that hard, actually, and I gave an explanation, and everybody like nodded their heads, and it was fine. And then when the video came out, the comment section roasted me because I got it wrong. Roasted me. So I thought I was confident. So I'm just going to say I don't know what this card does. I know it's going to spend a lot of game time for everybody doing this wrong. Unless you play it on Magic Online. And the Magic Online, I think, knows how to do it properly. But I don't even know. I just trust Moto on that one.
But the problem with that line is then I don't know how to make my next line of play. So I just cast something into it. I'm like, wait, does this thing work? Do I think it is? I don't know. Let Moto figure it out.
Just don't draw cards. That's what it means.
That's the only thing I can remember, right? Don't draw cards. But I had to learn that in a weird way because the wording. And so, like, this card is hilarious to me just because of the wording. And that's why it kind of sometimes trolls. But after a certain point and you boil it down, it is just don't draw cards. And that's the biggest thing that matters to me, right?
Wait, so did we try to read the card for the...
Oh, God.
Yes, can you tell us what this card says?
Oh wait, you want me to read it again? Chain of Mephistopheles?
Oh wait, yeah, we did read it. Yeah.
I did read it at the beginning. Yeah.
It's just gibberish. The problem is, as soon as you started reading it, it just like went out the other ear. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, for sure. For sure,
unnecessarily
Seth. For sure.
confusing.
There is a flow chart out there. I saw somebody did like a proxy of it where instead of card text, it has like if this, if that, then you do like. And I
is
followed
that any
it.
different, or is that any better or worse than what's already on there?
Yeah, it did help me understand the card. Honestly, like I saw it, I was like, oh, it makes sense, and then it went out of my ear. It's like
I think the humor in it though is like. When example, in that episode where you thought you knew, right? So reading the comments and then somebody tried to correct you, but then that led to people correcting them.
Yes.
And it's just like the fun never ends. Wait,
what brave commenter right here leaving a comment below is going to explain it. Do it at your own risk is what I'm just going to say.
Even the oracle text of the card has 3 sentences and all of them start with if. So it really needs a flow chart. Like it's so many. I guess it's chain reactions of Mephistopheles because it's just so many ifs. And it's actually $1,600. I just
that's how you play around it. You just hope that like people don't own it because of budget. Like that's how you play around it. Simple.
Basically,
if you have
everything is fine unless it's changed.
You could just make the rules on the spot. If I see this and you play it against me, I'll let you just name what it does. I don't even care.
That's your price.
Do I draw? Do I discard? Do I mill? I have no idea. Just
my planeswalkers don't work? Okay, sure. My artifacts don't tap? Great. I don't care. You got it.
I lost the game somehow? Okay,
just me and loses the game? You got it. All right, thanks.
Wow, that's a strong card. 2 mana, loses the game.
$1,600? It better do that. So, yeah.
All right, moving on. We got Crim. What we got for us?
Well. If it isn't my favorite removal spell, because it's also not only an interaction removal spell, it's a trolly way to go about it. And it's Wrong Turn, which is 2 a blue, right? And it's instant speed. Target opponent gains control of target creature. So you can't give it to yourself. So it's perfect, right? You get to kind of politic this. And if somebody kind of relies on their commander or maybe like a Voltron-y creature, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to get... I think... The amount of games where I've had people, I had to like kind of like drum up the concerned look and like fake a sweat so that I can get my Oscar so that I can wrong turn somebody. And the best part is when you've mastered that you have a wrong turn and you need to practice not smiling. That's the hardest part. And I think one time after this had come out, I think Tomer, you played a Boros deck. And then I think I shifted shifted over one, and that was a haymaker. And then I forgot with some other people I also did that too. Oh, the EDH Rec crew. We played a game of Commander on stream, and I wrong turned somebody, and that felt great. It was hilarious. This card is the perfect.
To be fair, the card always overperforms when I see it.
Right.
Like it looks strange, but it's pretty effective at what it does.
Except there are the games, every time you get the blowout, you have the other side of that coin where you draw it when there's only you and the opponent left.
Oh, God.
I've been on both ends of that. One feels out-of-body experience. I am on another plane. I've ascended. Other side of that coin is, oh, God, this is the worst thing I've ever drawn in my life. Why me? Right?
I feel like this is kind of the ultimate troll card because it's so bad. Like, when Crim plays this card in like every deck, and he has like 20 actual removal spells that could just straight up kill the creature, but for some reason he chooses not to kill the creature, but give it to someone else who can still keep attacking with it and activating with it, which I think is just like the epitome of trolling, because you could just cast a Doomblade or whatever, like Terminate, but instead he's just shifting it around just to mess with everyone, just for the fun of it. So to me, I think I might have underrated this, rating it an A. It might actually deserve an S.
Right. You convinced me, the guy who plays it in every deck, it is an S.
So S is across the board except for me. I gave it a B.
You don't think it's trolly?
It's trolly, but does it take a very long time to resolve? How much time does this take up the game? And that's for me, that's the biggest one. How much time are you wasting by casting this spell?
Tomer has the weirdest definition of troll.
Like, you could resolve this as fast as you resolve a spot removal spell.
I know, which is why
I guess.
it
needs to be slower
for me.
It needs to waste more time.
You have to roll a randomizer for every permanent on the battlefield.
I guess the slow burn and the build up to it is faking
I think this card is a little bit underrated power wise though, because like, yeah, you could say like, why didn't you just Doomblade it and get rid of her permanently? But the thing is that like Commander is so focused on your commander, your card, so that by not killing it, by having it removed from the player who built their deck around it, by taking it away from them and giving it to somebody else, it's actually worse to them than just removing the card, because you can't recast it. You have to wait until the creature dies and goes back to the command zone before you can do anything to get your commander back out. So it's actually like, for some decks it's backbreaking. Like imagine like you're building a deck, yeah. Like you're playing Light Paws or something and somebody wrong turns your Light Paws. Like what are you gonna do now? Like you can't even you're gone. That's it, GG. Like,
yeah, that's the power of the card. That's why I mean it's always obviously Crim all just played it when it was good, but I've seen Crim play it a bunch of time, and I always thought that's actually kind of good. Light Paws is like the best case, obviously.
Even on a medium level, right? Let's just say on a medium level, like hitting my Anawan. Somebody did it to my Anawan once. I'm like, wow. Even though my whole deck isn't based off of Anawan, just losing my commander's annoying. Oh, yeah. Right? So, like, that applies to almost every deck across the board. Unless your commander is, like, a Planeswalker commander. Sure. You get it.
This is why people hate Draenith Magistrate so much, right? Because, like you think it's, like there's not that many commanders that care about it, but, like, really. If people didn't care about their commander that much, like, Draenith Magistrate would not be as big of a deal.
Granted, this is, like, a one-off Draenith Magistrate, right?
This is a one-off, yeah.
But unless you Snapcaster it, then it's like, wow, you really just don't like people.
Instant speed too, though. Like,
oh yeah,
like Draenith Magistrate prevents you from casting it, but like then you just remove Draenith Magistrate and you cast your commander. This one is like, it's on the other side. It can start beating you up, and you have to find a removal spell on your own commander. You have to kill your own commander to get it back. Which is pretty trolly, I admit. That's pretty salt-inducing, but I'd much prefer you do this to me than Scrambleverse, man. Like, God, I hate Scrambleverse.
If you can't put Scrambleverse and then compare things. Scrambleverse is, as I said earlier, the poster child of like how to troll in Commander.
When was the last time they printed something like Scrambleverse or Warp World? Like
Scrambleverse would be the new version, right? The nerfed version.
They did a suspend one, didn't they? They did a suspend version of
that's actually super good though. That's
but it only hits you.
Like,
so you can't really troll with it. Yeah.
Thank God.
Like I wonder what a power crept chaos card would look like. Like if they can at some point make it. You can't really make it powerful, otherwise it wouldn't be chaotic.
No, it would just be the same effect, but cheaper.
But cheaper.
Has foretell.
Don't do that. Foretell. I'd rather have another Dockside Extortionist than a cheaper Scramble.
Tomer, this is way more fun than a Dockside, right? Like, come on. You can't.
Feels
actually, you know what? Dockside into Scrambleverse. You're right. Okay.
That's
combo.
Pretty good, actually.
Combo or synergy?
Wait, it's not. No.
I guess Warp World or something would be good.
Yeah.
It should be. Man, I want to play a Chaos deck now. Or like a Warp World
Phil
deck.
gets it.
I'm sorry, I can't make that week, Phil. I'm sorry.
Slowly. Just remember, Tomer, every second of this podcast someone's listening, slowly they are just moving on the meter. Like, maybe I do like Chaos decks.
I think we're winning them over, yeah.
No.
Next week, Phil is just going to have Chaos 1 on it, like a hat, and a foam finger that's just literally Chaos Orb. What's up, guys?
All right. Phil, what do you got for us next?
So the next card is called Head Games, and is a 5-mana sorcery. Target opponent puts the cards from their library on top of his... it's an alt card of their library Okay. Target opponent puts their hand on top of the library. Then I search that player's library for that many cards. They put them into their hand, and that is it. I would probably not play a 5-mana target opponent discards their hand in Commander, and I would probably not play head games. But the fact that you 5-mana discard your hand would probably be almost unplayable in Commander because it's so narrow. Switching out the entire hand for lands, though, that's quality trolling. It's like funny how
very funny.
This card is somehow more interesting, even though it's way strictly worse than just
Phil is right. Hold on, you're right. You're very. Where is it? It's now at a B. It's now at a B.
I think
it's now at a B.
It's like hilarious how bad this card is gonna, even though it looks like is it good in 1v1?
1v1 like 60 card formats.
Not
was
that
fun.
It's actually
it was fun.
Good,
I played this back
funny.
in middle school.
Yeah.
Is there no way to pay 5 mana to make somebody discard their hand? Like, you have to replace their hand with cards. Like, granted, they'll be the worst cards, but they still get cards. Like,
and you did spend 5 mana, so like your whole turn. Back in like middle school, this was your whole turn, right?
can't you just like Mind Twist them for 4, and that's like
But Mind Twist is good.
way better.
It's good though, yeah.
Yeah, like Mind Twist is good.
This is way funnier. The only downside in Commander is it only gets one. If it hit everyone, it would be so good.
Everyone.
Like that's the one thing that
power
knocks it
creep.
down a little bit is you only get one person, so you just like hit one, but still it is pretty fun. It's really funny. You don't have to necessarily get lands either. You can just choose like their worst non-land cards for even more of a like rub in a little bit. Like I love
But it's
this
still their
card.
deck.
It's horrible.
Why do they have so many
bad
bad cards in their deck? Like,
Yeah, I mean, like that. By the way, would be a power crept way to like make a Thoughtseize for Commander, like Commander Legends 2, just Thoughtseize, but hit one from everybody.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't made that yet. That would actually be like, wow, I'm actually surprised that doesn't exist.
Commander is actually very, like, only Siphon Mind, maybe? Or is it Siphon Mind?
Siphon
Yeah,
Mind.
Yeah,
That's
and that's really card draw, really. People play it to draw
to
cards
be
more than
honest,
the discard.
We talked about mass multiplayer Thoughtseize before. I think the only concern really is like how long it takes to resolve the spell, which is you have to look at the person's hand, and then you have to choose, and then you have to do that for each opponent, right?
So I gotta.
That's fine.
That's not a problem for Crim, obviously. Scrambleverse, great card.
What tier would that be then, Tomer? As far as troll cards,
That's an actually good card.
How
though.
fast can you how fast can you resolve the spell on average? And I would figure that out from there.
it'd be pretty long. Yeah.
Wait, would you play
Where-
a Commander Thoughtseize? Like one mana.
Exactly.
everybody.
I think 1 mana Thoughtseize.
And
yeah.
you lose 6 life, by the way.
No,
If
you
it's
gotta balance
Thoughtseize.
it. You lose like
Sure.
4 because you gotta double the life, right? So since you have double of 20, but
you discard 3 times.
yeah,
the cards.
yeah.
It's 2022. Everything.
Yeah.
Maybe you
No,
gain life.
actually. And it cantrips.
And it's
Okay,
green.
wait. Is it
has
not
the cantrip.
trolly to then just straight up play Thoughtseize on its own, like normal Thoughtseize?
I think that's legit, actually.
That's not troll. You think that's like a real
In 1v1,
If you're playing
no
CDH or something,
multiplayer EDH, just Thoughtseize straight up.
that's so bad.
Wow, that
If you're
sounds
like in
horrible.
mono black and you really need to get a spell to resolve, you choose a mono blue player, or you choose a blue player and you get out their Fierce Guardianship or anything for your cast
Or
resolve.
you play a City in the Bottle or
It's not
whatever it's
great.
called. Like, what's
Isn't
you
everyone
can
a blue player in
prevent people from
CDH?
countering?
Yeah, you'd much rather want to cast silence,
But I'm
right?
not talking about CDH. I'm talking like CDH. You can try to like pick off maybe a key card, sure.
Yeah.
Like, but at that
It's not
point,
that
you're
great.
probably just better off playing Praetor's Grasp, right? So, but like, I think a Miser Thoughtseize in casual EDH would be hilariously bad, and it's just like it just does nothing. It does nothing.
This is like a peek into the mind of Crim right now. It's like-
But like, I've also thought about like, what if I just played it though because it's so bad, right?
I didn't mean City in a Bottle. What is the card that doesn't allow players to cast spells on your turns? An artifact, I think. Is it an artifact?
Defense grid?
Something
Yeah,
like
defense
this.
grid. But
Yeah,
like,
that's probably
It's
better than
pay 3 more, I think. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it should do it. I mean, that's better than Thoughtseizing the blue player. One of the blue players.
I mean, silence is a CDH card. If you're in white, you just cast silence, and
Sure.
then you're allowed to
That
combo
prevents
off.
them from winning the game, though.
No, well, yeah, it also prevents them from stopping you from winning the game. So
yeah, it's pretty good card.
Yeah, head game's not very good. I don't know. I put it as a B. It's like it's funny.
Really
I think
not
it's
good,
funny,
that's
but
why.
it doesn't take that long to resolve, hopefully. And then like,
This metric. This tier
how
list
much
most
time are you
tedious
wasting? All
cards to
right,
resolve.
I
how
feel
much of
like-
my precious time.
Okay, I think the reason why Tomer's only had the concern of how long does it take to resolve these spells with chaos cards, but not any of the other
I'm
stuff.
getting old, and like, how long are you prolonging my nap time? All right, I'm getting cranky. I'm getting old. I need my nap time, and you're cutting into it. All right.
So, Tomer, Sensei's Divining Top. Is that a troll card then?
Yes.
Counterbalance, is that a troll card?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Oh, I think, what's it called? Sensei's Divining Top is the only card I don't play because it's too tedious. Like, unless I didn't play any top of my library theme yet, but otherwise I just actively avoid the card because it's just, I remember it from paper, activating it multiple times since I forgot how I
Pretty
stacked
slow.
it. It's like, oh, no, this card is not good.
I'll still play it if I'm comboing off or counterbalance if I was
Counterbalance,
Crim, I guess.
sure. But you won't
But like
see me
it
do
combos
that.
with like any mana discount spell and future side effect, right? Like Bolsa Citadel or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If I play a deck centered around this, like Reality Chip or something, yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We got okay, this is a card. This is a card I have thoughts on. Timesifter. Timesifter is, oh boy, what a card. Timesifter is a 5-mana artifact from the olden days, so it has a really weird effect. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, each player removes or reveals, exiles a top card of their library from the game. The player who exiled the card with the highest mana value takes an extra turn after this one. If 2 or more players' cards are tied for the highest, the tied players repeat the process until the tie is broken. So basically, there's no such thing as a turn order anymore, or like a regular turn order. Once you play Timesifter, the next player's turn is determined by this. Everybody reveal a top card of your library, whatever the highest mana value is. That person gets to go, gets to have a turn. So you could theoretically never have another turn for the rest of the game while Timesifter is on the battlefield.
I guess I play
If you just
Sensei's
get unlucky.
Divining Top with this.
Yeah. So I remember I ran this card in my Joda deck, Archmage Eternal. I had a lot of scry abilities, top deck manipulation, and my deck was all about like these 8 mana value spells because I was casting them for Wooburg instead for a massive mana discount. So I was like, wow, Timesifter, it synergizes so well in the deck. And then I brought it out to Commander Clash, and I remember just like how much fun immediately got drained from the table as soon as
So
Timesifter did its thing. And I was like, guys, look at the synergy. Isn't this a cool synergy, guys? As I'm
Brilliant.
taking extra turns, and everybody else is like, yeah, good for you. That's cool.
But therein lies the problem. Therein lies the problem, Tomer. You were looking to abuse the Timesifter. You knew essentially stacked your deck, right?
No!
But now think about this. As someone who just has also played Counterbalance without top in their deck, right? Like, so hear me out. What if, again, you just play it for the fun of it? 5 mana, let's spin the wheel again. Like, first off, I think this card is great. It's an S for me. It started as a C because I thought it was a different card. That's why. But now that I remember which one Timesifter is, this card is an S for sure. And without looking to abuse it. Yeah, of course.
Seth gave it an S, and Phil and I gave it an A, by the way.
I hate this card. This card's the worst. Like
you just
I like chaos cards. I'm totally down with Scrambleverse and all that stuff. Oh my goodness, this card is it's the most frustrating card to play against, because like you said, you might not ever take an extra turn, and that really happens. Like there's a lot of times this comes down and it just goes back and forth between two players with the expensive deck, and you just like do nothing for talk about wasting time. If that's your metric, you can sit there for a half hour or an hour not getting to play any Magic while this thing bounces back and forth. Oh my god, I hate this card. And please do not put this one in your deck, anyone. Like, I will kill you first. Not just on the episode you play it for like the next month of episodes.
You won't be able to kill them first if you never take an extra
chance
turn
to kill the person, right?
You're like, imagine if you have like imagine if you have a removal spell, like an artifact removal spell in your hand, and you're waiting to untap to cast it, and you never.
Please.
Ooh, if I untap, you're so dead.
Yeah, that's
You're revealing lands.
like, as much as I love extra turns in Constructed, in Commander, they're just inherently unfun. I think it's 4 people playing. Usually when you have a played in 1v1 Magic, it's like one person plays, one person waits. But in Commander, it's one person plays, 3 persons wait. So it's like a net negative for the gameplay. Yeah, no extra turns in Commander.
I'll crack a fetch land in this card and then add a little more time.
God. You'll I guess we all agreed here. This card is
great.
Please I guess 3 of us have agreed here. Crim loves it.
I mean, you all rated it about like pretty much an S, so that means you agree it's a great troll card.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
It's not a fun troll card.
Level as Scrambleverse, but
it's very trolly, but it's not fun. So a lot of these other troll cards we've talked about are trolly and fun. This one is just miserable, but it is
fun
trolly.
Is subjective here. I hate all of these cards. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Yeah, and I think all of these are fun so far. So
wait, Timesifter can't really be fun, right? It's like either you're the one taking the turns, I guess, then that's fun.
If you
then
don't
you can
abuse
continue
it,
playing.
Right, like assuming that
like
I'm blind flipping off the top with the rest of the table. Right?
But then Crim is a joker. He doesn't have a plan. He just wants
the best with stuff. He wants to see the world exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, fair. I'll admit, like a little bit, lightly. Yeah, no, that's 100%
He's even got the hair for it. He's starting to turn.
I'm here to announce, I'm the classic anime villain, right? I'm here to announce my diabolical plan and then click my heels and like waddle back and forth, right? And run around.
All right, moving on to the last card of the podcast. I guess since it's 2, it will be a double whammy. It's the last 2 cards of the thing. Seth, take it away.
These ones. So both Crim and I wanted to talk about these cards, and they're very similar cards. So I think I'll take one, you can take the other. Crim. Let's start with. I got Naked Singularity. Naked Singularity, 5-mana artifact, has cumulative upkeep of 3, and it says instead of producing normal mana, plains produce red, islands produce green, swamps produce white, mountains produce blue, and forests produce black. And then Crim, somehow Wizards made 2 cards that almost have the same effect. We also have Reality Twist.
You can get both of these for under $5
They're
before
both
taxes.
in the same set.
And
they are. You're right.
We had a podcast about these. Are they in the same set?
Reality Twist is triple blue, cumulative upkeep, 1 blue. Instead of their normal mana, plains produce a red, swamps produce a green, mountains produce a white, and forests produce a swamp. So these 2 cards are perfect. This is just good, beautiful Magic, right? Like, it may not be good.
Why isn't it the same lit deck? Or why isn't it the same set? What's going on?
Weird. How are you ever going to pay for the upkeep? Maybe we should explain cumulative upkeep because it's a pretty old mechanics. So the first upkeep, you pay 3 mana. The next upkeep, it's cumulative, so you pay 6 mana. And then the next upkeep, you pay 9. Otherwise, you have to sacrifice this. So you're just going to keep that maybe 1 turn. So you can also just play it in 5 color, right? That's mana symbols in the text box. So
you can only
mess up your own game plan with this. Although then it doesn't really matter, actually.
I wanted, because the reason why I love these cards is because I have a Kenrith 5-color hate cards. deck, right?
I guess.
And it's every hate card.
Of course you do.
And it's funny because 90%, actually more than that, it's about 100% of the time I just lock myself out from casting the rest of my hand. but it's funny. You see, like, so.
It's so random. And then it's 3 blue for this card is so strange. The artwork as well.
So good.
It's also funny that the colors don't line up.
Sure.
On one of them, swamps produce green, and the other one, swamps produce white for some reason. So I don't know. Who knows what happened? Do they turn into dual lands if you get both of these down? Have you ever done that, Crim?
Yeah. So essentially, if they're dual lands, they become triomes.
Oh, okay.
Right. So like the one thing I love these two because it's actually a curve. Right? Because
not with the upkeep though. No.
It's a troll curve, right? So you go reality twist. Turn 4, you pay for reality twist. Turn 5, you let it go. You play naked singularity.
These cards are obviously trolly, but the cumulative upkeep means they're basically unplayable. Like they're very short term trolly.
You can reoccur.
You can. If you can keep getting it, like Sun Titan can get back reality twist every turn. Got him. That sounds like a combo. So I guess there's ways you can build around them, but it is very short term unless you do build around them. Because what are you going to keep them a turn or two before it's going to go away? Yeah. So I don't think they're hilarious though, even though they're not very good.
Naked Singularity, you can potentially do because I have an infinite mana combo just so I can keep paying for Naked Singularity.
Oh my god,
that is the most Crim thing I've ever heard.
So it's just like, oh wow,
just kill me, Crim. Kill me.
The problem is I can't because I can't cast anything else, right? So.
But if you have Kenrith, you can make them draw an infinite amounts of cards, right? Doesn't Kenrith target opponent as well? No, you can't do that.
Yeah, but no. Phil, please. Let's not be absurd here. This is what I'm talking about. Like, these cards are perfect, right? They're hilarious. They're not good, and really they only dumpster a monocolor deck.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. They only really dumpster monocolor decks.
Yeah, because it doesn't hit on dual lands. They don't have the land types, right? They specifically call out the land types.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess
you're
nowadays,
rewarded for playing non-basics.
Yeah, exactly. Which would be great against Tomer, because Tomer said it himself. He plays like 432 basics and like 1 reliquary tower. So, so this is perfect. Right?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I agree. It's troll card. It's A.
So yeah, I rate it at an A. Both of them, they're both equal footing on A. It's actually Singularity a little higher than Reality Twist because the cumulative upkeep is colorless, right? It's whatever, which goes well with the infinite color, like the 3 mana thingy that you can untap it.
Grim Monolith.
No, that's 2 mana. Basalt Monolith.
Oh, Basalt Monolith.
And then you untap that forever, right? And then you just keep paying for it.
That's a good use for this.
Yes.
I lowered it as a B. I lowered it as a B. At least everybody understands what the card does, and it doesn't take too much time.
Except for
I rated it an A. Seth gave it an A. Phil gave it an A.
Actually, you know what? I'll put it back to an A. I'll put it back to because despite it taking not a lot of time to resolve, it will slow down the game a lot. And then again, it's that much more time until I get to take my nap. So,
I mean, I think this slows down the game a ton because you're not going to know what your land's tapped for. Like, every time you tap a land, you're going to have to read the card and be like, okay, what color is this making now? Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually really annoying. And then when you think you got it right, then Crim brings out Naked Singularity, and you're like, oh, my thing taps for this, right? And it's like, no, it changed it. It's even worse because you got accustomed to what it was.
I had one game where I had Blood Moon plus Naked Singularity. That was funny. That was funny. I couldn't cast any of my spells though, so nobody did it.
But you could pay for the upkeep.
Oh yeah. I paid for the upkeep infinitely, but I just couldn't do anything. Like I couldn't even cast Kenrith, so it was kind of unfortunate.
I can't believe.
I would say it's unfortunate. Maybe Kenrith would have killed us.
Wow. Oh my God. I want to play Chaos deck now. Sorry, Toma.
I can't make it. I'm sorry. I have a thing. I have a thing planned already.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get to play it often. With like, I'm never gonna bring that deck to like a public game because people might
get
be upset.
punched.
Yeah, I might get punched.
Or play it with me. Man. All right. Well, so we went through a whole bunch of cards. All of them very trolly. Please don't play these. Please don't play these. I don't know why we did this.
Please play
yeah,
these.
hopefully you're entertained.
Please play these.
Oh,
Matter of fact, at the very least, you're more than welcome to play them against me all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Time and a half.
wanna-
As long as you're not being a tomer and trying to abuse Timesifter. Okay?
I'm actually-
we blind flip here, okay? We
I'm
blind
actually
flip
interested in what people experience with cruel entertainment, because it seems so playgroup dependent. Like, I can imagine people ganging up on Crim if he casts it, but I would, like, in a neutral playgroup, I would just think everybody uses this to sabotage each other. But it's like, I'm interested to hear what happened when this got cast. And man, I wish this was on MTG Online, because then you guys could experience this. Because I would play this for sure. It seems at least funny.
Yeah, let us know in the comment section, what do you think about these troll cards? Would you run them? Do you like them? How do you like some of these cards? Do they overperform, underperform? Let us know in the comment section below. That's gonna be it for our show, everybody. Please like, subscribe, or wherever you're listening, the equivalent of that, wherever you're listening to it. Merch, mtggoldfishmerch.com. You can buy stuff and support the show that way as well. And that's it, everybody. Until next time, friends. What?
I burped.
Oh,
Nice.
congrats.
Good job.
Chaos Week. Bye.